for sure. Um,
Yeah,
so then I
absolutely.
guess that's a good segue into our next theme, which is friendship in dating and marriage. So if we don't necessarily
Absolutely.
see that business agreement in the romance, like it kind of seems like the friendship would be an important piece before you embark on a dating journey.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I don't even necessarily think it has to come in that order, but dating should be about building a bond, building a
Right.
friendship, right? When you're courting and dating somebody, you should be becoming friends, even as a higher priority than you're becoming romantically interested in each other
Right.
or, physically attracted to somebody. The goal is building a friendship because ultimately, whatever it is you're physically attracted to, if you do get married, you're both going to age and you can
Right.
still believe your spouse is beautiful, but some of those things that were once what drew you to that person are not going to be there anymore.
Right.
But if you have a foundational friendship that underlies everything, and that's what is ultimately pulling you together, is this deep bond that you have with one another, then you last through those changes. And any other changes that come before or after that, it provides you endurance. You can endure through things when you have a friendship with each other rather than just, again, that transactional relationship that we talked about before.
And I think a lot of this too, I know we're kind of flipping back and forth between these two themes. I think a lot of it is love in today's society is defined as sex.
Hmm.
It's
At least
not
romantic
defined.
love.
Right, right.
Yeah.
But even sometimes not.
Hmm.
With hookup culture and the way it is now, you know, partying Friday night, take a girl home, friends with benefits, Netflix and chill, like all this stuff is out in our society, and obviously as Christians, we need to, abstain from all of that and obviously follow what the Bible teaches, but it seems to me that ultimately like I guess if we're being specific, romantic love is boiled down to just sex. And I think that's such a cheap definition of what that is.
Hmm.
Because if that's true, so like if you're looking at like truly well lived out Christian marriage, the love gets stronger over time, and it has nothing to do with the physical intimacy. Maybe not nothing, but what I'm saying is it's not a direct one-to-one correlation. There are things that my
Right.
wife does that make me love her more regardless of our intimate increase or decrease for whatever that
Mm.
season of life may be. You know what I mean? So I would
Yeah.
I would say that the world has believed this lie. If we look at like finding the lie is that if you sleep with someone, you love them.
Hmm.
And maybe I have the wrong outlook on what society is saying. Maybe they just don't even look at sex as love at all.
It's just transactional.
It's just what it is. It's just sex, and that's
Yeah.
what we do. And
Just a thing.
if we're doing that, then maybe we're dating. And it's almost like
Yeah.
they're walking through these relationships, these romantic relationships, completely oblivious. And when I say the word oblivious, and we're talking about this movie, I think of Mrs. DeLauer. I think of Mrs. DeLauer, and at the end of the movie at the party, you're laughing because you know what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
She is doing her own thing at that party,
Yep.
man, and she is
Did you see the so do you
oblivious.
see the look do you see the look that her husband gives when, the lights come up and her name is announced, like, they say, "Thank you," and she's standing there hitting on Ben?
Yeah.
Do you notice the look that her husband
Yep.
gives in that moment, just, like, the disdain
Yep.
that he has right there?
Rolling his
Um,
eyes and yeah. Yep.
yeah, yeah,
And she's just completely oblivious to like everything that's going on to the room in the room because she's worried about is herself. Like that's all she can see
mhm,
is who's attractive, who do I think is attractive, what can I get out of other people? It's all about her and she can't see past that. So I think that that's kind of a good correlation, pulling all of this out of the movie. Um,
Yeah.
so
And one
anything
more
else you
thing
wanted to
on
add?
that.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Just on the friendship piece of that, right before New Year's, um, Liam asked, we were talking about having people over for New Year's, and he was like, so he's 15, and he was like, "Who are your friends?" And like, so I was like, well, most of my good friends live out of state. And I don't know if I said this. I don't think I did say this in the moment, but the reality is, so he's asking about who our friends are, who we like to hang out with, who are our best friends and things like that. And what's going on in my mind is like, your mom is my best friend, right?
Right.
Like, yeah, I enjoy hanging out with these people that I've known for a long time, and they're really good friends, and I miss seeing them all the time when they move out of state, and all of those things are true, and would love it if they came over and stayed with us and things like that. But the reality is like, your mom is my best friend. Like, I wouldn't. There's nobody that I would prefer to spend time with. No one else. Like, it's just, and maybe that's even the good side of that of the transactional nature of things. It's like, she is my best friend, and even if all other friends are gone, I'm good, right?
Right.
This is the
Right.
person I want to spend all my time with. I'm good, and we've been married for 9 years now, going on 10, and that's just the reality of it. Like, she is my friend. She is my best
I
friend,
think
and
so.
if I'm
This
watching a
kind of
movie, I want to watch it with her.
right, and I mean, I have very similar feelings in my marriage. I just had this thought, and bear with me here because I'm just thinking this now on the spot. So, I think that the only way two men can have the same relationship, or at least the same level of bond, we'll call it a bond, as a man and a woman in a Christian led marriage, I think have to go to war.
Mm.
I think the only way that you could get to that, and obviously I'm not talking about like a romantic thing. I'm just saying because that's a whole other side of the thing. But I'm just saying, just take romance out of it, and I think that's kind of what
Mm-hmm.
you're speaking to is just the friendship part of your marriage. I
Mm-hmm.
think the only way that you could get that the life that you live with your spouse, and the day in and day out, and the ups and downs and ebbs and flows, all of those, rainy days, and you said for better or for worse, all of those, they absolutely stink to go through, but those are the opportunities that become building blocks that make your relationship stronger over time, years and years and years. And I think the only way for two guys to, as like brothers in Christ, to get that is to go to war, or you know like like start a business together and go through something very difficult like that in order to even
Yeah.
be able to get to the same level. Because I would agree with you, like if someone asks me who my best friend is, I always ask for a descriptor. Are we talking best guy friends, or like what are we talking about? Because my wife, like I would agree, my wife is the best. My wife is my best friend, and there's a lot of people that I would rather say, hey, can't hanging out with a wife tonight. We're watching a movie. Gonna go watch How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days tonight. Hey guys, it's Parker from the WatchWell Podcast. If you like this video, we want to go ahead and have you subscribe right here on this button. If you want to watch the full podcast episode, go ahead and click right here. And if you want to watch another WatchWell clip, go ahead and click right here. And remember, if you're gonna watch well. We'll see you in the next one.